Well, good evening and welcome everyone to the 2021 Alpha Omega Alpha Honor Society Induction Ceremony. My name is Chris Van Hove. I am a fourth year medical student, albeit only for one more day. And I have had the humbling honor of serving as the AOA student president for the last year. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone who is in attendance this year, either in person or virtually. Induction into AOA is truly an amazing honor. And it is all of you that have supported us, mentored us, and shaped us into who we are that brings true meaning to this day. A recognition such as this would not have been possible without you, and we are forever grateful for that. Now I want to begin by giving a brief overview of AOA for those who may be unfamiliar. AOA stands for Alpha Omega Alpha and is a national medical honor society that was founded in 1902 and remains the only established medical honor society in the country. The South Dakota chapter was established in 1978. Election to Alpha Omega Alpha is an honor signifying a lasting commitment to professionalism, leadership, scholarship, research, and community service. These are the core tenets to its mission. A lifelong honor, membership in the society confers recognition for a physician's dedication to the profession and art of healing. This evening, you will be introduced to some of the brightest and most dedicated individuals at the University of South Dakota. So as we begin tonight, I have the privilege of introducing our first speaker for this evening, Dr. Tim Ridgway. Dr. Ridgway is the Vice President of Health Affairs and Dean of the Sanford School of Medicine. He is a previous graduate from the Sanford School of Medicine and has been practicing in the state of South Dakota since 1991. He has previously served as Executive Dean, Dean of Faculty Affairs, and Professor in the Department of Internal Medicine for the School of Medicine. He has also served as Staff Physician and Director of Gastrointestinal Endoscopy at the Royal C. Johnson Veterans Affairs Hospital in Sioux Falls. His accolades are remarkable and include being named a top gastroenterologist in Sioux Falls by the International Association of Healthcare Professionals for the years of 2018 through 2020, and one of the best doctors in America since 2010. He received the Presidential Award from the South Dakota State Medical Association in 2017, and he also received the Distinguished Alumnus Award in 2017 from the Sanford School of Medicine. Dr. Ridgway was our previous South Dakota chapter counselor for AOA and has been an outstanding advocate and supporter for our chapter. On behalf of all my fellow peers, we are unquestionably lucky to have him as the leader of our school. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Tim Ridgway.
Thank you, Chris. I cannot tell you how good it is to see all of you. I can't remember the last time that I saw this many students in a room. And trust me, for us faculty and administrators, it's what gives us our energy. So it's great to have you here this evening. And Chris mentioned it best. This is special. Enjoy this evening. You have earned this very much. It's now my pleasure to introduce the Willard Oliver Reed Memorial Lecture. Willard Oliver Reed died in 1981, and he was the first PhD named to AOA at the Sanford School of Medicine. I'm going to date myself here. Dr. Reed taught me EKG reading. He was phenomenal. And that does date me, doesn't it? But yeah, I had the great fortune of knowing this guy. He was wonderful, and it's a great tribute that we have this guest lecture in honor of Dr. Reed. Our guest speaker this evening will come to us by video, but I don't think it will be any less important. Yvette Roubideaux, MD, MPH, is Vice President for Research and Director of the Policy Research Center at the National Congress of American Indians. The mission of the NCAI Policy Research Center is to provide tribal leaders with the best available knowledge to make strategically proactive policy decisions in a framework of Native wisdom that positively impacts the future of Native peoples. Her prior work includes research, education, and policy development in the areas of American Indian, Alaska Native health, and the quality of diabetes care. She served in the Obama administration as Senior Advisor to the HHS Secretary for American Indians and Alaska Natives, and as the Director of the Indian Health Service. She is currently an adjunct professor in the Department of Health Systems Management and Policy at the Colorado School of Public Health. Dr. Roubideaux directed training programs to encourage students to enter health and research professions, is the founder of the Native Research Network, and served as president of the Association of American Indian Physicians. Dr. Roubideaux received her undergraduate, medical, and public health degrees at Harvard, has authored several peer-reviewed research publications, and co-edited the 2001 book Promises to Keep, Public Health Policy for American Indians and Alaska Natives. Most importantly, Dr. Roubideaux was born in and grew up in South Dakota and is a member of the Rosebud Sioux tribe. Dr. Roubideaux.
Hello, I'm Dr. Yvette Roubideaux, and it's great to talk with you today. I really wish I could have been there in person to meet you, especially since, even though I now live in the DC area, I call South Dakota home. Thank you so much for the invitation to speak at this special event. First, to the graduates, congratulations on your graduation and induction into Alpha Omega Alpha. I wish I could say, welcome to the AOA team, but my medical school didn't have AOA. And I think I would have had a chance to be inducted, but then again, we didn't have grades, so no GPA, so no AOA for me. So I'm a little jealous today. However, I do have something in common with all of you. I graduated from a medical school that emphasized leadership and service, and that's what we have in common as physicians. Your induction in AOA means you are joining a group of physicians with the desire to serve and the responsibility to be leaders in our profession. I wanted to first say that I'm really proud of you for choosing a career to be a physician, and proud of you for getting this far, especially during what we have all experienced in the past year. I cannot imagine how you may have felt a year ago, realizing everything was different. Nothing was what you expected. Everything was at stake, and you suddenly needed to step up and help those in need in a different way than you imagined. Whew, that's a lot. But you know, and I can attest to this, nothing will be as you expected in your career. And that's right. Life as a physician most likely won't be what you envision right now. What you think you will do now likely won't be what you are doing when you get to where I am today, 30 years later. You will likely have several jobs throughout your career. You may face unexpected challenges. So that's why this year has been so valuable. If you could get through a pandemic and graduate from medical school and be inducted into the AOA, you certainly can do anything. Well, I thought I had it all mapped out in medical school. I became a physician because during my younger years growing up in South Dakota, I never saw an American Indian physician. My relatives complained about the care they received in the Indian Health Service, and so I thought that if I became a physician, I could help improve the quality of care. But after 4 years working as a physician in the Indian Health Service back in the 1990s, I was burned out and frustrated. Things were way worse than I had imagined, and my well-thought-out plan was suddenly not working out as I had thought. And there was actually a day back then and I really wondered what was I going to do next. And then the very next day, a brochure arrived in the mail about a new minority health policy fellowship with an MPH degree. I applied, and long story short, I did the fellowship, and after the fellowship, I ended up changing my whole career path to become a researcher, to help get the data needed to justify more resources and help for American Indians and Alaska Natives in the Indian Health Service. And ironically, I was actually the one in medical school that bragged that all through my education to be a physician, I had not done a day of research. So if you've asked me in medical school if I was going to be a researcher, I would have laughed at you. But that's the thing about service and leadership. There is a lot of need, but leaders find a way to address the need even if it requires big changes in their plans. You did that this year. You not only continued your education during a pandemic, I understand that your class even worked to encourage more underrepresented students to enter medical careers, which is such an important area of need. Wouldn't it be great if our diverse patients could see more physicians like themselves in the clinic or the hospital? Well, I now have the privilege of seeing some of the students I mentored years ago when they were in college, now serving as physicians on the front lines of the COVID pandemic on the Navajo Reservation and other places in the Indian Health Service. That's one of the benefits of service and leadership. You may never know how many people you help, but years later, sometimes you get to see the positive impact. And just think of what it would be like to see one of the students you mentored sitting where you are now, being inducted into AOA and graduating from med school. As they say, it'd be priceless. I want you to know that I'm really grateful for your efforts to encourage more underrepresented students to become physicians and enter health careers in this state. This work is critically important. So my advice is to take some time today to celebrate this week and really be present in the celebrations. I hardly remember my medical school graduation ceremony, and this year's probably been such a blur that maybe even you've fallen asleep already during my speech, but I would recommend that you write down some of your thoughts and experiences this week. Not just what you write on social media, because who knows, it may not even exist in 30 years from now. But write what you're really thinking and feeling this week of your graduation and about your future. It helps to remember why you wanted to become a doctor and how proud you were to be inducted into AOA, and your hopes and dreams for your career on how you can lead and serve. Things will change over the years in unexpected ways, but your hopes and dreams for your career right now are really important. They can provide an anchor for those times in the future when things don't go right or unexpected things happen. My big plans to be a practicing physician in the Indian Health Service didn't quite work out, but my work to try to get more resources using research and data did work out in a lot of ways. And in the end, I surprisingly ended up being the director of the Indian Health Service, where I was able to lead several efforts to improve care and resources for American Indians and Alaska Natives on a national level. And clearly there continues to be significant need, but we did make progress. I didn't plan that step, but in the end, I did get the chance to help in a different way. So I guess my original plans did sort of work out, but not as expected. And now at the National Congress of American Indians, I help tribal leaders get the data and research they need to make strategic decisions to help their communities. Because it turns out addressing health issues is not just about what we do in the clinic. So many other factors impact the health of our patients. We all can find a role to lead and serve, and that will make an impact on our patients and our communities. And just remember, as you learn this year, when times are tough, there's always a next step, which is likely another great chance to lead and serve. Again, congratulations on your induction into AOA. I'm really proud of you, and I'm confident you will be able to lead and serve in many important ways throughout your career. And when you are delivering graduation speeches 30 years from now, you can look back, be able to say your hopes for your career did work out, even if the path wasn't what you expected. And make sure to keep encouraging students to enter health careers along the way. You never know. Hopefully they won't be needed in another pandemic, but if they are needed everywhere, and so are you. Thank you, and congratulations on your induction into AOA.
Hansen tonight. It has really been a pleasure to learn about all your accomplishments and service. You all have so much to be proud of, and we are delighted to welcome you into our AOA chapter. Before we recognize our new initiates, let me acknowledge our members from the class of 2021 who who were inducted last year as juniors. Because last year's induction ceremony was virtual, we would like to honor you again and present your AOA cords tonight. We'll ask that all our initiates come receive those cords in front as we call your name, and please, per policy, just wear a mask when you come to the front. Christopher Van Hove. Christopher is from Plymouth, Minnesota, and has attended St. John's University for undergraduate studies. He was the vice president of his class and a student ambassador for the USD Sanford School of Medicine. He was a first lieutenant in the United States Army Reserve MDSSP program, and he volunteered at the Coyote Clinic, the Welcome Table, Servant's Heart Clinic, and Yankton Food for Thought. Christopher has served the past year as president of this AOA class. He co-founded the AOA Reach Mentorship Program, which he will present for us later. Chris will begin internship in internal medicine at Abbott Northwestern Hospital in Minneapolis. He's joined tonight by his parents, Joe Day and Michael Van Hove, as well as his wife, Lauren Van Hove. Congratulations, Chris. Adam Bleeker. Adam is from Mitchell and attended Northwestern College for undergrad. He served as an LCME reaccreditation student representative, was the Vermilion coordinator of the surgery interest group, and a Sioux Falls campus student representative. In addition, Adam volunteered his service at the Welcome Table in Vermilion, Coyote Clinic, and the banquet in Sioux Falls, and worked with South Dakota AHEC as a medical student volunteer. Adam will do a transitional year internship at SSOM before going on to ophthalmology residency at the University of Oklahoma. He is accompanied by his wife, Brooke Bleeker. Congratulations, Adam. Ahna Buntrock. Ahna is from AOA, Minnesota, and completed her bachelor's degree at Washington University in St. Louis. She served as a Coyote Clinic steering committee member and Pillar 2 supplemental instructor. She was the Pillar 2 rep for the OBGYN interest group and served as vice president of the Anatomy Club. Ahna volunteered her service at Habitat for Humanity and was part of the USD SSOM Artwork Committee. Ahna will be starting residency in obstetrics and gynecology at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. She's accompanied by her fiance, Jacob Haiar. Congratulations, Ahna. Jacob Haiar. Jacob is from Mitchell and attended the University of South Dakota for undergrad. He served as American Medical Association volunteer coordinator for the Yankton campus and was a Friday Academy representative. Jacob participated in the Himalayan Health Exchange, a medical mission to Pangi, India, volunteered as a kidney disease screener for KDSP, and worked at Servant's Heart Clinic. Jacob will begin internal medicine residency, also at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. Congratulations, Jacob. Chris Lucido. Chris is originally from Omaha, Nebraska, and attended Augustana College. An MD PhD student, Chris served as a supplemental instructor for the class of 2022, was part of the dermatology interest group, and was the co-organizer of the Stanford Research Graduate Student Invited Seminar Series. He volunteered his time as a pre-orientation panelist for Pillar 2 students and served at the Welcome Table and Backpack program in Vermilion. Chris will do a transitional year internship here at SSOM before his dermatology residency at the University of Minnesota. He is joined by his wife, Ellie Lucido, and his mother, Tracy Lucido. Congratulations, Chris. Logan Radtke. Logan is from Jefferson, South Dakota, and attended University of Nebraska-Lincoln for undergrad. He was a class wellness team member, a supplemental instructor, and an executive team member for the Anatomical Society. He helped develop practice content for the Video Enhanced Note Writer as a Perry Center student simulation instructor. Logan volunteered at the Coyote Clinic, the banquet, the Welcome Table, and was a Habitat for Humanity site volunteer coordinator. Logan will begin residency in orthopedic surgery at the University of Utah. Congratulations, Logan. I want to thank this group for your service to our chapter so far, and we wish you the very best as you move on to your next steps in training. Now Dr. Hansen will introduce senior initiates from the class of 2021.
Thank you. And it is wonderful to get the mask off. So let me introduce our new members from this graduating class. Our first is Jordan Dykstra. Jordan is from Sioux Falls and graduated from South Dakota State University. He was a dermatology interest group officer, a peer advisor, and a small group facilitator. He completed a scholarship pathways project which culminated in a publication last year and has numerous other published articles, poster presentations, and abstracts to his name. Jordan also volunteered at the welcome table, the banquet, and the Coyote Clinic. Jordan will do a transitional internship here at SSOM before moving on to dermatology residency at the University of Kansas School of Medicine. He is joined tonight by his wife, Stephanie Shabanya. Congratulations, Jordan. Carson Eisenbeisz. Carson is originally from Pierre and attended South Dakota State University for undergrad. He was a Rapid City campus representative and supplemental instructor. He spent 3 weeks as a medical volunteer with the Himalayan Health Exchange in rural India. Additionally, he volunteered at the Hope Center for Homeless Persons and served as an admissions ambassador and American Medical Student Association officer. Carson will do a preliminary year and then an ophthalmology residency at University of Missouri, Kansas City. He is joined by his parents, Kristin Brost and Hadley Eisenbeisz. Congratulations, Carson. Kristin Inman. Kristin is from Pierre and attended Creighton University for her undergraduate studies. She integrated into her clinical site of Winter, South Dakota, VIA, a Community Connections nursing home program, as well as instructing a scrubs camp at the local high school. She volunteered time with AzeraCare Hospice, the Coyote Clinic, the Welcome Table, and the Banquet. Kristin will begin residency in internal medicine at the University of Minnesota. She's accompanied by her friend Emma Haberman. Congratulations, Kristin. Matthew Lommen. Matthew is originally from St. Charles, Minnesota, and attended the University of St. Thomas. He served as a Medical Student Association Senator, Wellness Committee member, and Seldinger Society Secretary-Treasurer. He helped develop the OSCE Video Enhanced Note Writer video series. He was involved in numerous publications during his time in medical school. He volunteered time with a PPE drive, 3D printing of PPE, and as a medical scribe at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. Matthew will do a transitional internship in Michigan before starting interventional radiology residency at Barnes Jewish Hospital in St. Louis, Missouri. He is joined by his parents, Peter and Elizabeth Lommen. Congratulations, Matthew. Geralyn Palmer. Geralyn is from Sioux Falls and attended undergraduate at University of South Dakota. She was an American Medical Association Community Chair, organizing student volunteers for the banquet every week. She was also an AMA State Policy Chair for her class. She was an AHAC scholar and volunteered at the Coyote Clinic and is a scribe during the early COVID-19 pandemic. Geralyn will be starting residency in internal medicine at the University of Wisconsin Hospital in Madison, Wisconsin. Geralyn is supported here by her parents, Wayne and Susan Palmer. Congratulations, Geralyn. Congratulations to all of our graduating AOA members. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Evans.
Next, we will recognize our new members from the junior class. Dane Hegdahl. Dane is from Brookings and attended South Dakota State University as an undergraduate. He serves as an OSCE preparation facilitator, a Pillar 1 education facilitator, and with the REACH mentorship program. He was an admissions ambassador coordinator and vice president of the Anatomical Society. He also volunteered with the Banquet, the Coyote Clinic, and the Transformation Project. Dane was recognized by faculty for exemplary performance in professional development in Pillar 1. He's joined tonight by his parents, Scott and Angie Hegdahl. Congratulations, Dane. Sarah Lehman. Sarah is from Sioux Falls and attended South Dakota State University. She's a delegate to the American Medical Association Medical Student Section and serves on a regional committee on advocacy and service for the AMA. She has volunteered as an ambassador coordinator at Servant Hearts Clinic, the Coyote Clinic, the Welcome Table, and United Way Yankton Food for Thought. During her Pillar 2 year, she was a live-in companion for 20 residents at an assisted living center where she helped organize visitation strategies, initiated a walking program, developed a community garden, and provided companionship to residents during the pandemic. Sarah is accompanied tonight by her fiance, Thomas Schneider. Congratulations, Sarah. Claire Porter. Claire is originally from Rapid City and attended the University of the Twin Cities as an undergrad. She was a board member of the Reproductive Health Interest Group and was the Pride Project Student Coordinator, setting up SSOM's first booth at the Sioux Falls Pride Festival in 2019. She is a founding member of the SSOM Racial Justice and Medicine Work Group, working on curricular reform and diversity inclusion lecture series. She was a volunteer coordinator for the Yankton campus and volunteered time at the Coyote Clinic, Welcome Table, Servant Hearts Clinic, United Way, and Transformation Project. Her Scholarship Pathways project is on childhood vaccination disparities in South Dakota American Indian pediatric patients. Claire is joined by her parents, Margaret Messerly and Donald Porter. Congratulations, Claire. Daniel Schmidtman. Dan is from Sioux Falls and attended Augustana University. He served as chair of the Coyote Clinic Steering Committee, and during his tenure, he oversaw remarkable fundraising, expansion to a weekly clinic, implementation of an undergraduate internship program, and overcoming the challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic. He is also a student coordinator for an international health rotation in Guatemala and was a representative and treasurer for the Institute for Healthcare Improvement. Dan was chosen as student president of this AOA class. He is joined by his wife, Carly Schmidtman. Congratulations, Dan. Lauren Van Hove. Lauren is from St. Rosa, Minnesota, and graduated from the College of St. Benedict, St. John's University. She has served as a class president for the class of 2022. She has represented students on the LCME Accreditation Committee and the Selection Committee for Dean and VP of Health Affairs. She was a founding member of the REACH Mentorship Program and a board member of the Surgical Interest Group. Lauren has volunteered with Servant Hearts Clinic, Yankton Food for Thought, United Way, Coyote Clinic, and Welcome Table. Her Scholarship Pathways project has studied the effect of a cannabinoid receptor agonist in type 1 diabetes. Here with Lauren tonight is her grandmother, Lauren Van Hove, and her husband, Chris. Congratulations, Lauren. Landon Withrow. Landon is from Yankton and attended South Dakota State University for his bachelor's degree. He serves as the LCME Independent Student Analysis Committee co-chair and is a student professionalism representative. He has volunteered at the Coyote Clinic, Vermilion Food Banquet, Hope Homeless Shelter, and was a Rapid City campus representative. Landon also prepared and led a Bible study for health professional and law students every other week at USD. He is joined by his girlfriend, Haley Ahrens, and father, David Withrow, a member of AOA South Dakota himself. Congratulations, Landon. Congrats to these 6 new members elected as juniors.
It will now be my pleasure to present our resident initiate, and that is Kara White, MD. Dr. White, originally from Rapid City, is a chief resident in anatomic and clinical pathology. She serves on the SSOM Alumni Relations Council and has been a resident delegate to the College of American Pathologists. She has taught many hours to Pillar 1 students in pathology and is a clinical instructor for the Medical Laboratory Science program. She has also served as a faculty mentor for women in medicine. She has numerous publications and presentations to her name. A 2017 graduate of Sanford School of Medicine, she was president of her medical school class and is a member of the Gold Humanism Honor Society. She is joined tonight by her husband Landon White and mother Sue Odegaard. Congratulations, Dr. White.
Finally, we have one alumnus and one faculty initiate to honor tonight. Our alumni awardee is April Willman, MD. Dr. Willman is a graduate of the USD School of Medicine in 2007 and thereafter completed residency in pediatrics at University of Missouri, Columbia in 2010. She practiced general pediatrics in Mitchell, South Dakota from 2010 to 2015, and since 2015 has practiced at Yankton Medical Clinic. She is currently a clinical associate professor in pediatrics and the pediatrics LIC coordinator on the Yankton campus. Regarding her work as a Pillar 2 student advisor, her nominator said, "She consistently excels in this role, providing deep constructive feedback to her students while mentoring and advocating for them. Within the Yankton Pillar 2 Advising Committee, she is a leader, routinely providing thoughtful assessments of students and sharing feedback on the curriculum as a whole." Dr. Willman was noted by her nominators to exemplify community service. She often volunteers her time to give presentations to the lay community at area schools and in other forums. Congratulations, Dr. Willman. Our faculty initiative this year is Benson Hsu, MD. Dr. Hsu is a graduate of the University of Missouri School of Medicine and thereafter completed residency in pediatrics and fellowship in pediatric critical care at the University of Wisconsin. He currently practices pediatric critical care at Sanford Children's Hospital and holds appointments of associate professor with SSOM and adjunct research faculty at Sanford Health. He also holds an MBA from Duke University. Dr. Hsu has a certificate in public leadership from the Harvard University Kennedy School, is an Aspen Health Innovators Fellow, and is a Bush Leadership Fellow. He serves as chair on the Executive Committee section on critical care for the American Academy of Pediatrics and has over 60 cited publications, including journal articles, national guidelines, and book chapters. One nominator said of Dr. Hsu, "What one does not read on Benson's CV is his extraordinary bedside manner when he cares for critically ill children and their families in the PICU. He truly is a role model for trainees with his empathetic approach to dealing with families at the most difficult time in their lives." Another stated, "It is because of Dr. Hsu's mentoring that I pursued a career in academic medicine, and my story is not unique." Just this year, Dr. Hsu co-founded Equitas Health, the nation's first health equity honor society. Congratulations, Dr. Hsu. Members and members-elect of Alpha of South Dakota Chapter of Alpha Omega Alpha. The beginning of the 20th century marked the inauguration of measures by the medical profession and of national educational agencies to ensure adequate training of doctors of medicine. Because of these efforts, American medical education was transformed, and within 2 decades became the most effective form of high-quality professional training. With beginnings of this movement, but independent of it, medical students on their own initiative took measures to raise their standards of scholarship and ethics. Under the leadership of William Webster Root, students in the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Chicago, on August 25, 1902, organized a society in which membership was based upon scholarship and character. Its mission was to encourage high standards of thought and behavior in schools of medicine and to promote the best in professional practice. The society selected for its motto the Greek words meaning "worthy to serve the suffering." Alpha Omega Alpha exists for the advancement of professional ideals. Its membership consists chiefly of those who, during their medical training, gave evidence of their commitment to scholarship and whose character and professional promise made their fellow students and teachers believe that their future careers would fulfill their early promise. Members of the ALPHA chapter of South Dakota are gathered this evening to initiate into full membership those candidates who have been elected in accordance with the Constitution of this society and who have signified their desire to promote the high purpose of Alpha Omega Alpha. Members-elect, you have been judged worthy of the high honor of membership by your colleagues and teachers. In achieving this distinction, you do not become a separate group among your colleagues. Rather, you are chosen as representatives of that high attainment to which graduates in medicine should all devote their lives. Alpha Omega Alpha has no purpose but those which should be common to physicians wishing to render to society the highest service of which they are capable. It is not possible to select only those who will later contribute most to the theory and practice of medicine. Your selection is not a prophecy of relative future rank or distinction. Rather, it is a symbolic charge to you and to your colleagues to maintain the highest ideals of the medical profession. These ideals include, first, moral character above reproach, for no one is fit to practice medicine of which this is not true. Next, but equal in importance, is scholarship. Diagnosis and treatment in medicine must be based on evidence obtained from studies that are the foundation of accurate knowledge. Physicians have the responsibility to keep themselves informed of that body of knowledge that they must use in their practice of medicine, and they have the obligation to contribute to that knowledge. In no other way can physicians fulfill their responsibilities to their patients. Finally, the profession of medicine requires that you give to your patients the best of which you are capable, and that you provide society with professional counsel in matters of public welfare. We expect that you will be guided by these principles. These are the principles of Alpha Omega Alpha. Congratulations to all of our 2021 Alpha South Dakota inductees. I'll turn it back over to Chris now.
Every year, AOA recognizes community physicians who contribute to the education and training of clinical students. Each chapter can nominate one clinician per year for the Volunteer Clinical Faculty Award. Here at the University of South Dakota, the current AOA student body nominates and votes on candidates based on their exceptional experiences with these clinicians. This year, we are proud to be presenting this award to Dr. Jean Lageson. Dr. Lageson received her medical doctorate and postdoctoral training in internal medicine from the Mayo Clinic. From the beginning, Dr. Lageson has always had a passion for graduate medical education, serving on committees, and being recognized for the Graduate Travel Award for Outstanding Achievement in Internal Medicine. Since that time, she has worked in Massachusetts, the Twin Cities, and now with the Vera Medical Group in Sioux Falls. She is a core faculty member for the USD Internal Medicine Residency and an assistant professor here at the School of Medicine. Most of us students know her because of the work she dedicates to the Kyle Clinic. For those unfamiliar, founded in 2006, the Kyle Clinic is a student-run, free health clinic that seeks to enhance the well-being of the Sioux Falls community by providing high-quality, free health care to uninsured individuals while instilling the values of kindness and service. Before I present this award to her, I want to share a few comments from the class that bring to light the outstanding clinical teaching and service she provides us students. Dr. Lageson teaches by example, challenging students to explore the boundaries of their budding knowledge with thought-provoking questions. She asks her students to step into the shoes of a patient with few resources and anticipate the intrinsic difficulties of their lives when coordinating care. Over the years, she has donated hundreds of hours of her time to ensure that the Kyle Clinic remains such an impactful learning environment for medical students. Her instruction and healthcare savvy are integral components of this public-spirited learning opportunity. Every other Tuesday, Dr. Lageson extends her working day well into the evening for the edification of South Dakotan students and betterment of her community. She cheerfully teaches medical students of all levels and assists them in providing medical care for uninsured patients. Dr. Lageson's legacy extends beyond the charitable work she does every day. Her spirit of compassion is indelibly imprinted on the careers of future physicians of South Dakota. The education of countless aspiring South Dakotan physicians have been influenced by her compassionate mentorship. Her ongoing commitment to the amelioration of healthcare inequalities through service epitomizes the core value of social responsibility. She truly is a remarkable clinician. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Laugesen with the 2021 Volunteer Clinical Faculty Award. As I had expressed earlier, one of the core tenets for AOA is the commitment to community service. Every year, AOA students are encouraged to take on endeavors to give back to the community that has graciously allowed us to be a part of it for our education. This year, several students helped design a mentorship program partnering with South Dakota's HOSA program, also known as Future Healthcare Professionals. South Dakota's HOSA seeks to provide investigative and learning opportunity to high school students who are interested in future healthcare careers. In our partnership, AOA and HOSA developed a new mentorship program called REACH. REACH stands for Relationships, Engagement, Awareness, Collaboration, and Help. The goal of this program is to partner a South Dakota medical student with a HOSA high school member to cultivate a peer relationship based on similar backgrounds and interests. Our hope is that by fostering relationships with students of similar backgrounds, it will encourage and nourish the pursuit of a future in healthcare for our youth today. Unquestionably, healthcare shortages exist throughout our state, and pursuing paths to a healthcare field may be a potential passion for many that do not have the knowledge or resources to understand how to get here. By providing more opportunity and transparency through relationship building, we believe we can help to enhance the quality, quantity, and diversity of healthcare professionals for years to come. So in our successful inaugural year, we were able to provide medical student mentorship to over 40 HOSA students who agreed it was a valuable and meaningful experience to better understand what a future in healthcare looks like. However, none of this would have been possible without the guidance, expertise, passion, and enthusiasm of Mr. Brock Robs. If you read about AOA's mission of improving care for all, it is understood that in doing so, we must promote encouraging the development of leaders in academia and the community. For those who know Mr. Robs, he embodies this principle day in and day out. And our local chapter felt we would be remiss if we did not recognize him for his contributions, not only to this mentorship program, but also for the future of healthcare in this state. Mr. Robs has been in education for over 20 years. He obtained his undergraduate degree from Mount Marty College and a master's degree in educational leadership from the University of Sioux Falls. Currently, he is the Deputy Director of South Dakota Area Health Education Center and Executive Director of South Dakota HOSA, or Future Healthcare Professionals. Both entities focus on rural healthcare shortages issues and helping with recruitment strategies in these areas. Mr. Robs started the HOSA program in 2012 and 2013 with 7 pilot chapters and 270 members. Prior to the pandemic, that had grown to a membership of over 1,000 in 40 different chapters statewide. Tonight, he is accompanied by his wife Nancy, an OBGYN nurse, and together they have a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. Now, I have the privilege of presenting Mr. Robs with the Champion Ambassador for Future Healthcare Professionals Award. Congratulations.
I just want to say thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege being able to work with the AOA. I've always had this in the back of my mind of starting some type of mentorship program. And then Chris emails me in October and says, hey, do you have anything going on with like some type of mentorship program? I said, yeah, let me pull it off the shelf. And of course, we're in the middle of a pandemic. And so Abraham Lincoln once said, if you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend 3 hours sharpening my axe. Now, high school students they're just getting started. And really the goal of the program is to identify resources for them so they understand just the reality of what getting into healthcare is. And some of them want to pursue medical school, which is great, but they find their realities on television. And so whether it's Scrubs or Grey's Anatomy, we try to, entertaining certainly, reality not so much. And so I do guilt some of the medical students into like, what, you were there one day, sitting in a high school classroom, wondering what you kind of wanted to do. And so the HOSO program really is trying to sharpen their axe before they start to chop wood. They've not even found a tree yet. You guys have them sharpened, and you're ready to chop. And so congratulations to all of you. It's been fantastic getting to know Chris. We look forward to working with the AOA in the future and just see where this program continues to lead. Thank you so much.
And now Dr. Hansen will come on stage for the presentation of awards.
Thanks, Chris. AOA South Dakota Chapter is very fortunate to have several scholarships, endowments, which are awarded to student members every year. We will now recognize recipients of each of these endowments. The first one, the Laura Davis Keppen MD Scholarship Endowment. Dr. Laura Davis Keppen, would you please join me up here to participate in the presentation of this award? Dr. Davis Keppen was inaugurated into South Dakota AOA's chapter class as a junior in the class of 1979. She is board certified in clinical genetics and pediatric endocrinology and is a professor of pediatrics at the USD SSOM. She served as a counselor of the SD AOA for 4 years. She established an endowment fund to provide scholarship support for one incoming student member of AOA who is an advocate for patients and is dedicated to compassionate patient care. This year's recipient of the Laura Davis Keppen Scholarship is Claire Porter. Scholarship Endowment. Dr. Waltner was a revered and beloved family practice physician who practiced in rural South Dakota for 37 years and was one of the original founders of the South Dakota chapter of AOA. The estate of Dr. Waltner committed funds to an endowment for scholarship support for an incoming student member who demonstrates outstanding integrity and humility, the potential for being an outstanding clinical educator, and exhibits good work-life balance. This year's recipient of the Lonnie Waltner Award is Sarah Lehman. Congratulations, Sarah. The Alpha Omega Alpha Tim Ridgway MD Scholarship Endowment. Dr. Ridgway, would you please join me up here to present this award? Dr. Tim Ridgway, a fixture in our South Dakota AOA chapter, served as AOA counselor for 13 years. He is a beloved friend, mentor, and advocate for students at the Sanford School of Medicine. This endowment was established in 2020 in honor of his immeasurable service and dedication to the chapter. It is intended to offer scholarship support to a senior AOA student who has demonstrated outstanding clinical skills and professionalism as well as excellent capacity for leadership. This year's recipient of the Tim Ridgway Award is Adam Bleeker. Congratulations, Adam. I don't think you have to go into GI, though.
Oh, he does.
He does, okay. It's up to you, though, bro. The next is the Alpha Omega Alpha Founder Scholarship Endowment. To celebrate the 40th anniversary of the South Dakota chapter, the AOA Founder Scholarship Endowment was established to honor the chapter's founding physicians. Dr. Lauren Amundsen, Costas Azamakopoulos, sorry, Edward J. Batt, Lawrence Finney, Robert Quinn, Robert Talley, and Lonnie Boltner. Each of these founders has had a career marked by integrity, compassion, high achievement, leadership, and service to others. The endowment provides scholarship support to the incoming junior student elected to president of AOA South Dakota Chapter. Our 2020 Founders Award recipient and the new AOA Chapter president is Dan Schmidtman. Congratulations, Dan. And I'll now turn it over to you, Dan, for some comments.
Gotta set the stage here. All right, well, thank you to everybody for being here tonight. Thank you to Dr. Evans, Dr. Hansen, and Dr. Ridgway for everything. And Dr. Kemmons, you're doing an incredible job operating the camera.
There we go. Yeah.
If my parents could be here, they would thank you immensely, but they're watching from home, so. All right, well, it's an incredible honor to be surrounded by some of the most prominent healthcare leaders in our state, and equally so to sit alongside 18 other medical student AOA members for whom I have such deep respect and admiration. These students, who also happen to be my colleagues and friends, are role models to me. Their heart for service, their thoughtfulness in their interactions, their dedication to excellence and advancement, and the way that they lead through both action and word are values that inspire and challenge me to become the best physician that I can be. If this group of students that's here this evening is a reflection of the broader society, I can safely say that it's one of the greatest professional honors of my life to be inducted to this organization. Well, as I prepared for this evening, I kept returning to the same question. What does it mean to uphold the AOA's motto of being worthy to serve the suffering? Of course, we all entered medicine with a desire to serve the suffering. But how do we do our part in earning that privilege? Is our worthiness born out of the intensity and duration of our training, the letters following our name following graduation, or is there something more to the answer, something that's more human? After significant thought about this question, I have to be honest with you, I haven't come to a very clear answer. But the question did cause a lot of reflection, and it caused me to return to an article that I recently read in the Scientific American. In the article, medical student Kamal Gulat describes a story in which she and her attending, a neurologist, were visiting the room of a comatose college-age patient who had overdosed on narcotics, cocaine, and alcohol. During their visit to the patient's ICU room, the patient's mother insisted that her son would be okay because she had seen him move. The neurologist went on to explain that these slight movements were likely the result of drug activity in the brainstem, and unfortunately, probably did not indicate opportunity for improvement. In the last lines of the essay, the author describes the interaction that ensues between the mother and the physician. Here's an excerpt. That day, I saw that ultimately, it is not the language of science or evidence-based medicine that consoles real human beings facing real loss. It is not the objective medical gaze or microscopic view of the body as a specimen that provides comfort or reassurance. In the end, the reality of medical practice and the doctor-patient relationship is about the impulse of being human, the vulnerability of being ill, and the process of healing, all of which we, doctors, share in, but so often forget in the process of becoming, quote, professionals. But in the instance with the neurologist, I saw what it meant to look beyond the patient's chart and to deviate from a feigned sympathy script. I saw a young man as a patient, a person with his own story, a mother in sorrow, no less a patient in that moment, and a doctor with oodles of knowledge standing quietly in solidarity with the patient's mother. The neurologist reached out her hand, and the mother graciously accepted her show of comfort, genuine and uncontrived. That, to me, is patient-centered care. So this story, in my opinion, does a far better job at describing what it means to be worthy of serving the suffering than I can give. It reminds us just how profound of an impact leaning into our humanness can have in the midst of another person's suffering. It reminds us that, after all, our humanity is what connects us. You see, our worthiness to serve the suffering is intimately tied to our commitment to keeping medicine human. Now, as much as our induction into the AOA is a recognition of all that we have accomplished, I would challenge each of us, myself included, to take the motto of this organization on as our own, to take our induction as a commitment to being a champion of progress and advancement, a commitment to valuing the person over the patient, to caring for those that do not have anything to give, and to strive to be nothing short of excellent at what we do. In focusing all that we do on our patients and engaging in the type of patient-centered care described in the excerpt that I shared, I believe that we will uphold the motto of being worthy to serve the suffering. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Dan. Our final award to present tonight is the AOA Lauren H. Amundsen, MD Award. Dr. Amundsen was a co-founder of the South Dakota AOA Chapter in 1978 and served as its first counselor and secretary-treasurer until 1992. Contributions from the chapter initiated this award in 1993, and Lauren and his wife Mavis Amundsen later created an endowment to ensure ongoing funding of the award. Each year, a plaque and award from this endowment goes to the retiring or graduating senior medical student president. This year's beneficiary of the Amundsen Award is our outgoing president, Chris Van Hove. Chris, congratulations. Thank you again for your service to the chapter, and I look forward to watching where your career takes you. I'll leave you with the honor of closing us tonight.
Well, thank you, Amundsen family, for that incredible honor. I'm very appreciative. Thank you. As we conclude tonight, I want to recognize all the incredible faculty and administration who have tirelessly supported AOA and made this in-person event a success. Dr. Evans-Hollinger, Dr. Ridgway, and Dr. Hansen, thank you for all your work and continued support of this amazing school and state. Ms. Megan Van Sloten and Dr. Jason Chemnitz, thank you for your behind-the-scenes preparation and organization. Without you, none of this would have been possible. For everyone else who has played a role to make this such a special and impactful night, we thank you. To the medical student inductees, congratulations on your induction, and congratulations to the class of 2021 on your upcoming graduation. It has been a humbling privilege to be your peer for the last 3 to 4 years, and I look forward to being your colleague for years to come. Your wide array of talents and experience will immensely enhance the medical community. To our resident faculty and alumni inductees, your service as teachers, role models, and leaders in our school and community are admirable. And they set an example for physicians as you are grounded in service and professionalism. It goes without question that your work serves as a guide for those fortunate enough to learn from you. I commend you for your commitment to these virtues. Finally, I want to end where we started by thanking all friends and family who accompanied us to celebrate this honor. You have been the most meaningful people in our lives who have provided the opportunity and support to shape us into who we are today. Thank you for your unyielding commitment to our futures. As we close this evening, I want to leave you all with a reminder of the core motto of AOA. The Greek letters of Alpha, Omega, Alpha, to be worthy to serve the suffering, which you've heard many times tonight. It must never be forgotten that the opportunity of being a physician is a tremendous privilege that bears a responsibility of service, compassion, and leadership. Never lose sight of this mission, as it will always guide you to fulfillment in your work and life-changing impact on your patients. Congratulations to all on your accomplishments, and thank you for joining us on this special evening.